The calendar has officially flipped to June. Does that mean there's going to be some cuts coming to the Arizona Cardinals, Johnny Venerable?
We don't know, but we're going to find out. Plus, why does everybody continue to underestimate the Cardinals offseason? PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K. Presented by our friends at Circle K. We'll get it, friends. Welcome back to me. I'm glad to be back. It's Johnny Venerable. It's Wulbrecht. Noah behind the mic. Welcome into your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. It's PHNX Cardinals, #1 in the world. First off, welcome Noah. My apologies to Damon on Friday. Tremendous show, holding it down with my co-host Bo and what was his final official day as our producer. He will be back in different renditions over the course of the rest of the year and beyond. But big thanks to Damon for all he has done for this show and making it #1, Bo Brock.
That's right. Sweet, innocent, infant Damon Dog. He's grown up a little bit. He's now angsty teenage Damon Dog, and he'll be stopping by asking me and Johnny for money for some handouts. Like, hey, I ran through it all. And I'm like, damn it, what happened to the 500 we gave you a couple weeks ago? He said, I blew it. So Damon will make some stops, and it was a heartfelt tearjerker goodbye. Johnny just decided to say, you know what, that's not for me. I'm not about emotions. I'm not about living in the past. I'm all about now. And he said he's out. So it was just me and Damon just reminiscing.
Damon who? That's what I said. Who the hell is Damon? Actually, it was so hard. I couldn't even show my face Friday. It was so hard for me.
If you missed our farewell to Damon Dog, Mr. Hold the Line himself, check it out. That's Friday's episode. But now we welcome the new in Noah. Our guy Noah jumps in. I asked him, do you go by anything else? Do you have maybe something you want me to call you on this show? He said, look, nicknames are earned. I said, ooh, I agree. I like that.
That's that already.
So Noah, if you'd like to, you could pop on the mic, or you could be a shy guy and just say hello to the PHNX Cardinals crew.
Hello, Cardinals fans.
There he
I'm
is.
Noah. What up, though?
Electric. You should see this guy. He's got infinite aura. He's got infinite flow. I love this in the chat right away. People are saying, Mr. Fat Gangster, Noah trending up. I'm not going to say Damon trending down, but you guys, with your words are saying it here in the chat. But no, we appreciate Damon Dog.
No, if Noah's trending up, that means Damon can only be going another direction.
It's simple math, friends.
It is. We can't all just have nice trending signs on our charts there. What's going on, Jacob Big Bird 92, Michael Evans, Mr. Fat Gangster? How about the Art of Being Free? K2 Snacks, Marley P, Big Crack in the Back. That's a throwback you'll learn about there, Noah, about our time spent on Radio Row. David Y, Robert, Jess. Love seeing everybody here. Welcoming a new era of PHNX Cardinals podcasting.
The Art of Being Free to ask him was no on the draft coverage. He was dope on there. If so, he absolutely was. Held it down when Damon was on vacation and did a tremendous job during draft coverage. And maybe those were the training wheels. We just had to see it to believe it and take those training wheels off. And now we're ready to roll throughout the course of the rest of 2025 and beyond on your little fanboy podcast here on PHNX Sports. Drop a like, drop a comment here. We're back on a football Monday, on a sleepy little football Monday on June 2nd, and we're talking a little post-June 1st cuts. So I saw something recently. The Cardinals are top 5 in the least amount of dead money in the NFL. And yeah, that's notable because Steve Keim maxed out credit cards like nobody's business when it came to the salary cap. However, the Cardinals aren't strapped for cash. the Cardinals aren't buried in dead money. But you're seeing around the NFL, trades, dumps, cuts are going to take place, have already started here post June 1st. I don't know why the June 1st date is significant, like why the NFL decided, hey, post June 1st, we're just going to have this cutoff. And if you get rid of players, then they're going to be a lot cheaper, right? But for whatever reason, that's the case. So I thought it would be a fun exercise to go through a bunch of guys that have been talked about, whether it be in the media or by the fan base, of guys who could be either roster bubble guys or people who may not have a future with this team beyond 2025. And here's what I'll say as a disclaimer, Bo. I'm anxious to get your opinion. Like, we could go through this and none of these guys could be cut. None of them. Yeah. Go into training camp and all these guys could compete. Maybe they're cut in August or September purely based on football reasons. The Cardinals are not pulling the D-hop here with a post.
Right. No, yeah. And look, I mean, it's so refreshing that Monti Ossenfort has a crystal clear, just a perfect, immaculate NFL salary cap credit score. I mean, it's unbelievable. Some would say to a fault, just because there's a lot of money that it feels like year in and year out, he's not even utilizing it all, but he's got it stashed away for a rainy day. And, speaking of, people coming and asking for some money, maybe, when the time comes, it's like, hey, this guy's available during the season? Can we pull off a deal and take on the salary? Monti Ossenfort would be in a tremendous spot for that. But yeah, this is going to be kind of an exercise. Is it foolish? No, I mean, I think most people who cover all 32 teams go through this exercise at this time of year, because it is one of those where it starts to, the calendar changes and some of the cap numbers, not only if you were to part ways with a player, would not be on the books for the upcoming season, but it would be, you could push it to future seasons. That's where kind of the June 1st, why it becomes significant. And I think with the Cardinals' improved roster, you start to see guys who could become expendable, whose role was once, big with this team, is now fallen a little bit. And could the Cardinals, would they benefit from a divorce? So we'll go through that. And they're not short on those guys, but could they actually, like you were saying, move through and get to training camp? Is the roster as is? I think that's a really likely scenario.
Let's take a look real quick before we jump to that graphic. I've got over the cap pulled up. Cardinals are top 5 in dead cap not allowed. So basically, they're in the top 5 of being able to manage their cap effectively. Just over $7 million in dead cap. The number 1 team in dead cap in the NFL, San Francisco. Oh, you hate to see that. Man. $92 million in dead cap for the San Francisco 49ers, followed by the Eagles at $71 million. Seahawks, another NFC West team, at $67. Jags at $64. Jets at $62. Again, the Cardinals, easily the best team in the NFC West. Rams, $50 million in dead cap. So again, Cardinals have the best cap situation in the NFC West unequivocally. They've got the most room right now heading into the next 2 off seasons, and they've got about $35 million to play around with. So again, that's why when we look at this graphic, Bo, it's not screaming cut players to sign players to extend players. Like, they can do all that anyway. However, it does bear the question, is the juice worth the squeeze? So let's take a look at it. These are, let's just call them, we're going to call them roster decisions for the Arizona Cardinals. Here are roster decisions. Now, these are not their cap hits to the right. This is officially via overthecap.com, Bo, their post-June 1st cap savings. So what I mean by that is nobody on this list is going to incur more dead money than cap savings. So you're going to get cap relief in some way, shape, or form, but these are all guys that have been in discussion, or are they making the roster? Does it make sense? Let's start with the 2 most obvious culprits. Sean Murphy-Bunting's basically off this team now. We don't know how much of the Cardinals recoup from his contract, but you've got Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols, $800K and $125,000. So again, there are people out there that are staunchly committed to the idea, well, these guys are going to be on the team because of their contracts. I look at this, you know what I think? Yes, there's dead money associated with both of these guys, albeit for this year, but you're not basically paying them to go away. You get some relief here post June 1st, whereas pre-June 1st, you did not for both of these free agent defensive tackles from last year.
Yeah, it really is going to come down to just the pure competition that's going to go down, I think, in training camp. And if something were to kind of reveal itself this week, we'll be back out there for OTAs tomorrow as it's open to the media, and then mandatory next week before they wrap, and then head to, the true part of the offseason where it's real kind of NFL hiatus before camp. Unless they say, hey, we're going to create an opportunity for Bilal Nichols and Justin Jones, and we're thankful for what they've done for this team, but there's just no role here, and let's just let them get ahead of this. But what is camp sometimes rear its ugly head at? Injuries. I just don't know if they benefit from, outside of giving the respect to the player, cutting ties at this point. And I don't want to make this a moot conversation. I think it's interesting, right? And that there are going to be guys that are going to be fighting for their roster lives. But at this point, I don't think, many of these cuts would be realistic. I think you would be kind of cutting the opportunity for some real competition just across the board. You're not going to bring anybody in that's going to, you can say what you want about Bilal Nichols and Justin Jones. They are NFL caliber defensive linemen where you wouldn't be bringing in somebody. They would be younger, but you would be taking a big risk as far as, could you plug them and play them if you needed to?
Let's keep looking at this list here. So again, I think if either player is going to be cut, I think they're going to be given the benefit of the doubt into training camp. And then as folks in the chat have made clear, and I agree with this, it's a competition at defensive line. That's what it should be. It's the biggest improved unit on the team. It's the most improved unit maybe in the NFL based on what the Cardinals have trotted out. So if Justin Jones, and especially Bilal Nichols, who by and large has not been present at OTAs, if they go out there and earn it, then they really earn it. If you're competing alongside Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson, Calais Campbell, and Dalvin Tomlinson, keeping things going. The running back position, DJ Dallas last year, a little bit of a splurge free agent signing. Cardinals would save $2.7 million against the cap, whereas Michael Carter, who still is somehow on this roster, even though I'd forgotten about it, $1.2 million. They subsequently are set to back up Trey Benson and, of course, stalwart James Conner. Then you've got Amari DiMercato. So, again, these are not moves made for, cap savings in particular, but there is a bump. Do you think both players are on the roster this year?
I mean, Michael Carter wasn't on the roster for the bulk of 2024. He just wasn't. He was practice squad nearly the entire season. And then I think, Carolina was his first active game, and he proved to what we all thought to be, we were correct, that he still brings the juice, but they have guys that can do his job. There's James Conner, who's entrenched as RB1. You've got the future successor at that spot, Trey Benson, second-year player who's a third-round pick, and then you've got DiMercato, who serves a role that the Cardinals are very confident that DiMercato is the best for it as your third down, pass protecting back with the ability to make a catch if necessary, and a guy that can, as RIP Damon Dog would say, catch the defense sleeping a little bit on a third and long draw where you just rack up dummy, yards per carry. And then you've got, the odd man out, Michael Carter. I don't think anything's changed. I think if everything is everybody's healthy, I think it remains your running back room is James Conner, Trey Benson, Amari DiMercato, DJ Dallas, and then Michael Carter if you can sneak him back onto the practice squad.
Yep, I agree. It's a room that they've preached continuity. The offense, they don't like new pieces if they can help it. So I think that unit remains intact. Let's keep things going here. Back to the graphic, if we could, Mr. Noah. Jalen Thompson, everybody's favorite trade candidate. I think, again, you could put water on that idea, throw water on that idea based on the fact $10 million is the savings. But you think about the Cardinals owe Jalen Thompson this year. It's, I believe, the third highest paid Arizona Cardinal this year, $13 million. a cap savings of $10 million, dead money of roughly $3.5 million here. Walk us through, if you could, Wulbrecht, how you foresee the safety position kind of spanning this year, because here's the problem with cutting Jalen Thompson. I love Rabbit Taylor Demerson like everybody else here in the chat, but you have to have depth at that position. If somebody, Buda Baker's missed time, he's approaching 30 years old, you're torpedoing your depth. You can stomach, and we talked about this throughout the course of the offseason. When you have a surplus of cap space, you can pay two safeties big time money, even though conventional wisdom says you shouldn't do that.
Right. People get carried away as far as the cap hits, but it's all relative to like how you are just as far as cap space and relief that you have on your team. The Arizona Cardinals are with a ton of it, right? Normally it's like, okay, do you need to make a tough decision, and you look to certain positions, non-premium positions usually, and you say, okay, that we can trim the fat this way, where there's no sense in doing that. Like the joke is, and it's been going on throughout the offseason, right, that Jalen Thompson, everybody wants to throw him in every trade package, right? But what are you going to receive in return for that? Does it best what he provides to you either as a starting safety or is a depth piece? Like, what are you going to get for Jalen Thompson? We've seen the league and how it feels about that position. We're seeing guys who play at a Pro Bowl, all pro level, in like very recent off seasons, just be cut because there's just no need to go out there and spend capital to trade for it. So you're not going to get anything in return. What's a 5th, 6th round pick? It's not going to be better than, say, you need to, either Jalen Thompson has a resurgence. He returns to his 2023 form where he had 5 interceptions, and he's, part of what Jonathan Gannon calls the blueprint of what you want from a modern safety. Or, does he deal with injuries again, or is he just a depth piece? I think that provides more value than what Monti Ossenfort could get in return. So, like, $10 million is great, but what do you need $10 million for? Like, wouldn't you just like to have, the best football team possible with a player like Jalen Thompson's JT that's going to provide either, solid starting performance or backup?
We have pretty well sourced. Jalen was hampered by an ankle injury most of last year, was not healthy, gutted it out. You could tell based on the play that you got in 2023, albeit on a very modest rebuilding Cardinal team, to last year. He's not the same player. No interceptions, no ball skills last year. Seemed behind when trying to run with tight ends and bigger wide receivers. And I think you can point most of that to injury. It's not like physically he's gone down a hill because of age. He's 26 years old. I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, this is the year for Arizona Cardinal fans. It's like, we should have a surplus because we can afford it because we're trying to win. Like, you keep Jalen Thompson on the team this year because you want 3 very capable safeties. And then you allow him to play in a contract year and hopefully say, you know what? Cardinals clearly have a kid in Taylor Demerson that they like. I'm going to play my best style of ass-kicking football so that I can cash in next March. But I'm going to take care of business now. And look how that worked out last year. The Cardinals went into last season with James Conner and Buda Baker in contract years, and both were phenomenal, and both got re-signed during the season. I don't think that's likely for Jalen Thompson, but clearly the mindset of prove it on a contract year works in a lot of aspects, right? Yeah. And so 3rd year in the system, $10 million. I think people just, because the Cardinals hadn't paid anybody, and walk with me here, Bo, like, they were like, well, Jalen Thompson can't be the highest paid player. We don't even have a pass rush. We don't have it. Right. They signed Josh Sweat and Dalvin and Calais. They've spent money. So it's like, okay, well, you can have Jalen Thompson at $16 million or 13 or whatever it is. You just couldn't have these guys be like the highest paid players on your team behind Kyler Murray. Like, it's hard for us to stomach. And that's where, like, the root cause of all this was last offseason. It's like, we're paying Sean Murphy-Bunting, Bilal Nichols, and Justin Jones, and those are 3 of the highest paid players on the team, and they're not any good, and they're not contributing. Right. And it's like, get him out of here. Whereas Jalen Thompson, can play when he's healthy.
Yeah, he can. It's almost, and it's. I feel bad, like, when I see so much JT slander. I think it's unnecessary. It's cool. You can be excited about a 4th round pick and Rabbit Taylor Demerson. Cool nickname, like, plays with flash, really plays cool with sizzle. He's cerebral. He's a guy that has a nose for the football. But at the same time, like Jalen Thompson's played some big time football for this team. I think he still has it in him. Like, we're nearly at half Christmas, right? So like my half Christmas wish for JT is that he balls out. He has a bit of a Buda Baker 2024 campaign where, I think he pushes it and people put some respect on Jalen Thompson's name because he was one of their best players in 2023. And I know that was some would say that would be easy, but at the same time, it was also difficult given the circumstances. He was playing different positions. He was playing out of the safety spot. He was playing the slot while Garrett Williams was returning from the ACL. He's been a guy that came into this organization as the final supplemental draft, I think, pick of all time, and turned into be a legitimate player for them.
Yeah, I just feel like JG is too big of a fan. He's got too many fans in the locker room. They use so many defensive backs. Like I think it's far-fetched to think he's going to get another extension from this team. It's an achievement that he got an extension as a 5th-round supplemental pick. Like, congratulations, that's unbelievable. And then he's going to be hopefully put in a position to get paid by somebody else next March. Let's take a look at the last couple names on this list. Yeah. Because again, the Cardinals in a position where Jonah Williams right now is practicing, albeit off to the side, Bo. It doesn't look like he's fully healthy. He has, I believe, the second highest pay cap hit on the team this year, $16 million. So cutting him would save only $6 million against $10 million in dead cap. And then you've got two guys at the bottom there in John Gaines and Clayton Tune, both who have been contributors, both coming from that faithful 2023 class. Gaines, really a byproduct of missing his rookie year. It didn't help him. And then Tune, are the Cardinals going to carry 3 quarterbacks? Can Clayton Tune make it to the practice squad? Like, assess these 3 players. We're assuming Jonah Williams is starting at right tackle, correct?
Yeah, I've got a pretty good sense that Jonah Williams is going to be your starting right tackle if he makes it through camp healthy, right?
Right.
And I know he suffered 2 knee injuries last season, but Jonah Williams, he looked good working out on the side the other day. We'll get another update probably tomorrow when we're out there. So you got Jonah Williams, you've got Kelvin Beachum, Grandpa coming back. And then, while both were away during voluntary OTAs, you got guys like Christian Jones who were able to kind of work into it. So, we'll see if anything can come of the 5th-round rookie or 5th-round second-year player out of Texas. But as of right now, it's Jonah's job to lose and Calvin to be the swing tackle and be your depth piece. That's the update as far as those guys. And then, you look at that, like the two next names, like 2023 inaugural draft class for Monti Ossenfort, John Gaines, athletic, versatile offensive lineman, and then Clayton Tune, who held it down at some time, started a game for this Arizona Cardinals team at the quarterback spot that was in flux, as Kyler Murray came back from his knee injury. I'll start with Gaines first. I mean, you look at this offensive line group, and they didn't really add too much. They added Hayden Connor out of Texas as a 6th-round pick. I don't know if that's ever going to be like valued more than Jonathan Gaines. I think he's still thinking with his versatility, can play some center. He's got some value to back up Yelda Froholt in the pinch and play some of the interior spots. So I think he has an edge to make a roster's position. Somebody could very well, I think, jump him. But, I think he's vulnerable, but he still has an edge. And then, Clayton Tune, I just think he's destined for the practice squad. I don't know if any team is going to view him as valuable. There could be some similar systems like Cleveland's hoarding quarterbacks. Like, would they, after all is said and done, like try to get him? But like what the league knows about Clayton Tune is he's been here. This is his 3rd season. His one performance at the NFL level was historically bad. I just don't know if any of the other 31 teams look at him as like, hey, we need to stash him for a roster spot.
He was sacrificed to the Cleveland Browns 2 years ago. Joshua Dobbs was traded for a pick when Kyler was coming back. The Cardinals tried to kind of jump or leapfrog Clayton Tune last year with Desmond Ridder, who turns out like can't play anymore. was like legitimately worse than Clayton
He's
Tune.
looking for work. I just saw that the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, not surprised.
It was the Cardinals, they've done a lot of good, certainly under GM Ossenfort, like 99% good. Up until this offseason, like the backup quarterback situation, and I include like how they handled Colt McCoy in 2023, it was not good, right? And it's hard when you're trying to juggle, like, is this a rebuilding team? Do we even care? Do we strip it down? The next year, it's like we're all in on Kyler, but what's behind them? Let's get creative. They finally got serious. They got Jacoby Brissett. They thought they were going to get Jacoby Brissett the year before. So then they pivoted to Desmond Ridder, and that did not end well. But here's what I'll say. I think Clayton Tune ends up on the practice squad with you. I'm 100%. I don't think anybody else is going to claim him. I don't think there's a surplus or lack of surplus of guys that can come in and be spot starters in the league. Clayton Tune's not a startable player. Like if you're an NFL franchise, like you would much rather just draft your own version of him and to keep in your building to develop like the Cardinals did. I do think Gaines makes the team. I think there is a value to being in the system, albeit he misses rookie year for 3 years. I think that like is tremendous value for him to be able to say, I know the playbook. Maybe I'm not the best athlete, or maybe I'm not the strongest guy and I missed my rookie season, but I can come in here. I know what I will keep the train on the tracks. I will not embarrass us and miss a protection and get Kyler Murray killed. That's an asset, right? Whereas like I love rookies. This kid that they took, Hayden from Texas, but like he hasn't played an NFL game yet. He's barely learned the playbook. Like those guys have an uphill climb, but good teams. I mean, here's what I'll say about John Gaines too. Like the next 2 4th-rounders, Taylor Demerson, we think is destined for stardom or at least high level play. And then Cody Simon, who we feel like has a chance to start at some point. Like their 4th-round picks they put a lot of value in them. And John Gaines would have started as a rookie at some point had he been healthy. So I think both make the team initially throughout training camp and the preseason. I think Clayton Tune is on the practice squad.
You guys are crushing in the chat. Also, you're bringing us back some horror stories from the past as we see some not so good quarterback names being thrown there. I think the best case for Clayton Tune is he lands on the practice squad.
Yeah,
now, obviously he wants to go make that NFL money, right? Be on an active roster, but it would be an uphill challenge for him to go and learn a new system and start over. Like if he could sneak through this year and continue to learn from Izzy Wolfert and Drew Petzing and just be this guy like and bide his time, through Jacoby Brissett's contract. Maybe he is the backup quarterback they envisioned for 10 years under Kyler Murray. That's potential. Like when you look at the position battle between like a Hayden Connor versus John Gaines, like this is where I think Gaines has the edge is familiarity. Yeah. He's also very smart. He's a true backup to Yelda Froholt, where I think, Connor, he's played couple snaps at Texas at center. I don't think you could like really say, hey, he's a backup center.
Right.
He's done it, which is good, but like Gaines, he's done it now for going into his third season, and he's very athletic, where Connor is limited athletically. Like he's a big dude, big, strong kid, smart, but he's not nearly as athletic as Gaines. Gaines was in there at fullback a couple plays last year. Like they like where he can be.
His RAS score was fantastic. Remember that? It was like one of the best of all time. All right, so putting a bow on this, let's pull up the graphic one more time if we could. Mr. Noah, I almost called him Damon Dog. That would have been so sad. Cardinals roster decisions.
If you had to make one, if you had to cut one.
That was going to be my question to you. That's not fair. All right, I'll go out on a limb.
Happy about Damon, and I beat you to it.
I'll go out on the limb. I will say Bilal Nichols is cut before or during early in training camp, where they're just like, hey, Bilal, it didn't work out here. You were injured last year. You're clearly not going to contend for a spot. We like our younger guys. Justin Jones is the one holdover. I'll go Bilal Nichols is cut from this group. What about you?
Yeah, interesting. Nichols was absent during voluntary OTAs last week too. So we'll have to update that tomorrow when we get out there. I'm going to say I almost wanted to do Michael Carter, but like you're an injury away.
That's a cop out.
You're an injury away from him actually having value again. Like if Trey Benson or James Conner were to get, God forbid, get injured, Michael Carter would immediately be an active roster player. Man. I'll probably say I agree with you on Nichols.
I just like, you were hurt and expensive, and they brought in 3 players that play your position, and you're not healthy now. How can anybody be like, you're on the team, you're good, you'll be around? Like, wait a minute. There are people on the internet. They're like, they'll keep him around. They paid him last year. Monti Ossenfort, maybe his best attribute to date, and he's got a lot of good ones, is he made a mistake, move on. I've made a mistake. I'm going to not double down on it, Keim style. I am going to say we can be better. Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, Walter Nolan, come on down. Free agent class of 2024, get out. Go away.
I think I think it's going to be a Nichols or Jones thing. I really do. I think
you think one or the other?
Yeah, one or the other. Just because how big both of them profile as, where you look at like D-Rob, and I know D-Rob is the Incredible Hulk now. He's bulked up, and you got Walter Nolan too, who's like hovering around 300 pounds. But those guys, like they play the same kind of defensive line position as like a Dante Stills, where, you know, in Calais Campbell. But now you're going to have guys that can play, rotate in with Dalvin Tomlinson. You need that beef. And I think one of those guys has to provide that.
They opened last year with 6 defensive tackles. Now, somebody got a free pass because Darius was hurt, but it was Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones, Roy Lopez, Chris Tonga, LJ Collier, Dante Stills. Those were the 6. I think there's a reality in which 5 of those 6 are gone to open up this season. Wow. What a time to be alive. Drop a like, drop a comment. It's PHNX Cardinals. We're back around the corner. We're talking PFF. They gave their roster breakdown. What the hell? Not a huge fan of Arizona and what they did. We're coming back right after this. So fired up here on a football Monday. Fired up to be back with all of you, because did you know nearly half of energy costs come from cooling and heating? With summer here, it's time to get smart about savings. And a smart thermostat can help you manage your bills. Smart thermostats can work with your APS rate plan to maximize comfort and convenience while minimizing your energy costs, okay? Take it from me. I just shelved out a bunch of money fixing my air conditioner, not once, but twice. And I need our friends. If you're on the APS time of use of plan, use your smartphone or your device to automatically adjust the thermostat to take advantage of lower costs of peak hours. I have to be smart because I have an older unit, right? I lean on our friends at marketplace.aps.com. Again, APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats as low as $0 when you enroll, not $1, $0 at APS Cool Rewards program. If you're not sure how to install a thermostat, free install is available at APS Marketplace. Now, if you're already in a home that has a thermostat at home, see if it's eligible in Cool Rewards, all right? They're looking to save you money via finding instant rebates, discounts, special offers, and more on smart thermostats, energy-efficient appliances, and more. Marketplace.aps.com. Again, disclaimer, you got to be an APS customer and pay shipping and taxes. Trust me, it's worth it. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information, Bo.
Love that. You got to get a smart thermostat. Get into modern day here. Use that technology. You can just set it on your phone, forget it. And also, if you're driving home, you're like, I want to cool down the house. I want the pad to be a little bit cooler. Just knock it down on your smartphone. Let's talk about, driving through. Let's talk about, things we love. I remember Frosties from my youth. I mean, just a lot of fond memories, just going and getting a Frosty. If you love Wendy's classic Frosty flavors, hold on to your taste buds, because Wendy's is serving up some big news. Big news coming from that pigtailed red hair girl, Wendy. That's right. Check it out. Get ready for the all-new Frosty Swirl. Frosty Fusion flavors available in either chocolate or vanilla, and there's the same creamy treat that you've always loved. Back in the OG yellow Wendy's that just hit different. Now they're in red, and it's just as good, but there's something about that yellow, Johnny. Just as delicious, new flavor twist. So what are these fresh flavors? Glad you asked. Frosty Swirls include strawberry. How about brownie batter? That's got to be Johnny's. Caramel, fully mixed, blended frosty fusions. Think Oreo, brownie, caramel crunch, and Pop-Tarts strawberry. Unbelievable what they're cooking up over at Wendy's. Dave Thomas has to be so proud that his humble company has turned into. Whatever flavor you're craving, Wendy's has the Frosty to match. So clock in the sweet treat time anytime, even midnight or later with Wendy's and their all new Frosty flavors of refresh on the classic. Gotta be Wendy's at participating locations. U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
I might have to put in
yummy.
a complaint. There's no, I might have to put in a complaint. That needs to be my read. That needs to be the life I live. I need to be showered with frosty goodness. Big thanks to our friends at Wendy's. I need one ASAP here. I didn't
We're
like.
Be having, I think Wendy's every Thursday here in the studio.
Might just drive in, get my frosty, and then immediately leave. Just go like this to Bo. Immediately leave. Get my frosty. Just not speak to anybody.
Not today.
Yeah.
Just
Excuse me.
Thank you. Good to see you. Just grabbing my frosty. I'll be gone.
That's fine. I'll let Noah have mine if I can't get in there. Definitely not Bowen. Definitely not Damon Dog. Because I'm upset. Why am I upset? PFF. What's the deal, Trevor Sickam? I thought we were bros. I thought the Cardinals were having the kind of offseason to make everybody perk up nationally, right? People who know ball know that this team is on the rise, know that this team is en route for the postseason. Yet PFF has them out here, Wulbrecht. I'll have you break it down for us. Behind the Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons. What can you tell us?
Unbelievably tough on these streets as far as the NFL roster rankings and Pro Football Focus goes. Yeah, look at this. Look at Noah showing, just flexing on us. All to start with this beautiful graphic. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any nothing wrong with, I think, the top 5. I'll go top 5 here.
Okay.
Eagles, Ravens, Lions, Chiefs. Bills, even though Chiefs offensive line is kind of bad. But then you get to the Rams, maybe a little overrated there. I think the Vikings could probably be higher. Look at this fraud at 9. The Denver Broncos, which last year in this very same list were dead last. But because of a fraudulent 2024 season that they won 10 games in, they've made their way all the way up to 9, which is unbelievable. Chargers also at 12, I think is a little too high for my taste. The Niners at 14, still waiting to get to those Cardinals. Oh, the Cowboys, the Falcons, and Bears, and Bengals, and that atrocious defense, all ahead of the Arizona Cardinals before they clock in at 19th overall, Johnny. They are in the same conversation in rankings, one just ahead of the Colts. That's criminal. The Steelers in that quarterback room. I vehemently disagree with these rankings.
Let's keep this up for a second. As disrespected as the Cardinals are, and they are disrespected, if you're a Seahawk fan and you win 9 and 10 games every year and you're 22nd behind the Colts with Danny Dimes, I would cancel my PFF subscription if I had one, if I was a Seahawk. And I get it. You gutted your PFF loves Geno Smith. So we'll start there. But again, I look at this right now. Falcons are not a good team. I don't know a damn thing about Michael Penix, but here's what I do know. They're trading away future ones to get back into the first, like jumping up 15 spots for James Pierce. I don't take anything seriously that the Bears and the Falcons are doing. Listen to me, everybody at home, everybody watching. The 49ers are not going to be good. The Cardinals are going to stomp a mud hole in their ass. They swept them last year. They have no good players left. I'm so upset I missed Friday's show so I can talk about that fraud, Bryce Huff. Everybody's like, Bryce Huff, look out. We're back. Robert Saleh and Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff's not even a starter on their team, and they're giving up mid-round picks. That tells me more about Nick Bosa not being ready to go. And then you mentioned the biggest fraud of all. The biggest fraud of the 2024 NFL season carries over to this year, and we're going to have to stomach them on national TV. Shield your eyes and your ears, friends at DMVR. The Denver Broncos with Vance Joseph, Bo Nix, and Sean Payton. I'm going to go right ahead and say it right now. I think they're like 7-10 conservatively this year. I think you are overvaluing their talent. I couldn't name 5 players on the Broncos that I want. The only reason that they're getting any love is because of Sean Payton. You cannot tell me right now, like the Raiders are much better this year. Like, say what you want about them, like Genty, Geno, Pete Carroll, like they're not a laughing stock. Brock Bowers, I don't think the Broncos have any good players. So to look at this and say, well, the Broncos are 10 spots above the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals' best 11 versus their best 11, I would take the Cardinals every day, all day. I think they have better players on both sides of the ball, better quarterback play. The rest of it's fine, though. Like Bills, Rams, Texans, Vikings, like a bunch of these teams are living off of last year. Cowboys on paper, people love, the return of Dak and the move for George Pickens. There are only a couple egregious ones. The Broncos, the Falcons, and the Bears stand out to me as like, how many times are we going to overvalue Chicago, by the way? Can we just stop doing it, please? Like, make them earn it. Like, at least the Broncos got to the playoffs last year.
Right. The Bears had a point differential last year of like negative, what was it? Negative 60. And you have the Falcons too, who were in the red as far as they were negative point differential last year, playing in the NFC South.
Atrocious.
And they think that Michael Penix is going to be like the savior, like the quarterback play is going to be. Yeah, exactly, Ozzy. The Bears drafted tight end 3 at number 10. And the big thing with the Bears to me, it's not really the offense, it's the defense. Like they have Sweat, but like they haven't made any big differences. You remember how much the Arizona Cardinals dominated them up front? They just pushed them around. They added 50-year-old Grady Jarrett, and they're like, good move. I know that name. I know he's played in the league. Yeah, he's played in the league a long time. And the Falcons, who had desperate needs up front, were like, okay, we can make do without Grady Jarrett. It's just it is just unbelievable and fascinating how they put together these lists. Talk to me about the Denver Broncos playmakers. Tell me, like, I know they added Ingram, but who? Cortland Sutton, okay. And then like the running game, they're going to rely on a rookie. And then they've got –
here's the squad right now. I'm going to read them to you. Yeah. Bo Nix, R.J. Harvey, okay? Mm-hmm. Cortland Sutton, who, by the way, is old. Cortland Sutton's old, and he's kind of broken down. He's 29, okay? Like, whatever. Marvin Mims Jr., are you a fan of his?
Special teamer.
Yeah, special teamer. Second rounder a couple years ago. Devon Vellele, 7th rounder last year. People think he's going to be good. Then they've got Trent Sherfield Sr., formerly of the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh.
Troy Franklin. I mean, people dog on the Cardinals receiving corps. They have flipping Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Can we calm down? Troy Franklin, who had one good catch last year and basically made up his entire yardage of like 268. So that's their skill group. Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, R.J. Harvey, and Bo Nix. Like, you played backup quarterback.
Good. I think Ingram's really good.
Yeah, he's fine.
Their offensive line is okay.
I mean, Evan Ingram wasn't good last year. I mean, he had 300 yards and he's 30 years old. So, but to act like what I just read, you talked about it. The offensive line is fine and the defense is okay. To act like what I just read off is a top 10 unit on both sides of the ball in the NFL. Like, what is Sean Payton? You have to then equate that Sean Payton's a top 3 coach and Bo Nix is like a top 5 quarterback to carry all that water. That has to be like Peyton Manning and Tony Dungy are just carrying the entire team for Indiana. It just doesn't matter who's on the rest of the roster. Brady and Belichick, just bring in whomever, whatever slappies you want to bring in. I know everybody. We have a very educated audience. We have 400 people watching live. Drop a like. Go look at the Broncos opposing quarterbacks face last year. It's like Clayton Tune-esque. That's who they played last year. That's how they got to 10 wins.
They give up, they face a good quarterback. They give up 30 to Joe Burrow. They lose that game. They give up 34 to Justin Herbert. Like, they face good, decent quarterback play. They lose. They play bad quarterbacks. They play the Colts, and they win handily. They play Jameis Winston, who they get in a shootout with. Like,
they almost lost that game.
They almost lost that game in prime time. I completely disagree with these rankings. I think they just seem to want to put the Cardinals in that. Like, if you look at any ranking this offseason, but and you'll see the Cardinals right around like anywhere from like 21 to like 18. And this is because there's no thought put into it. Like they're just like the last team, and they just go, okay, we got our top 15 here, we got our bottom 10, and then we're just going to fill in the gap. So let's just take the Cardinals and put them right there.
What do they think about the Arizona Cardinals? We'll give you the breakdown right around the corner. PFF, come on, you know better. I know better when it comes to premier sunglasses and not a premium price. It's impossible, by the way, to survive in Arizona without a quality pair of shades, and that's why I use our friends Shady Rays. They're helping you get into the right frame of mind. Get it? With their premium polarized shades that won't break the bank, friends. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. I have my own pair. Actually, I have several pairs. I didn't pay over $40 for any of them. And they have a try for yourself free right now. If you don't like it, exchange it 30 days, no risk. If you're a skier, if you're a snowboarder, if you're a hiker, Shady Rays has a brand new collection. They've got goggles to help you see, great on the slopes, whatever you want to do. This offseason, this pool season, so many colors, you'll find a pair that's perfect for you. If your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by the lost or broken replacement program. I promise when I go on vacation this summer, a wave will not take me out. I will not lose my second pair of shades in Hawaii in consecutive years, but you can, and they'll hook you up. PHNX viewers and listeners, go to shadyrays.com. Save, how about this? Not 20, not 30, 35% off polarized sunglasses with the bonus code PHNX. Again, most shades on shadyrays.com are right around $40, $40 to $50. Yep. 35% off. Over 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars. Use the code today, shadyrays.com.
Love Shady Rays when you're cruising around town. Also love repping my Branded Bills premium headwear. And of course, they got the apparel as well. It doesn't just stop at the hats, but man, have they just taken it to the next level. Branded Bills. Look at that lid. Johnny's just doing a costume change. He's got double Branded Bills. BB PHNX is going to save you 10% on your first order from Branded Bills. Now you're overdoing it. Would you stop it? It's now off-putting. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, they've got tees. Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style that cannot be beat. It elevates your brand to stand apart from the crowd. That's what Branded Bills is going to do for you. Check them out right now. It's the exact custom apparel that you need. They've got the, of course, campus collection. You want to rep U of A? You want to rep ASU? How about GCU? They got those partnerships with the local schools and more. Also partner with the Phoenix Suns, local company here from Mesa, Arizona, but they're worldwide. Check them out right now and save some money. BB PHNX for 10% off your first order. That's double B PHNX for 10% off your first order at brandedbills.com.
Big thanks to our friends at Branded Bills. I love this hat. I wear it all the time because it's time to get serious. And let's take a look at PFF, their breakdown of the 19th rated Arizona Cardinals, because as Bo said, what the hell? We'll just put them here. Here's the breakdown from our friends at PFF. Biggest strength, hey, it's how they run the football. Rushing offense, they tout James Conner. They tout the offensive line. Biggest weakness last year, the pass rush. Of course, we've talked about it ad nauseum. While Arizona's coverage unit improved from a putrid 2023, the pass rush couldn't do so. They had the second worst PFF grade in pass rush last season. The X factor, they're saying, for this year, Michael Wilson alongside Marvin, Trey, and McBride. If Wilson can break out in year 3, Arizona's offense could be a serious two-dimensional threat. And then the rookie to watch, of course, is Will Johnson. They likely never expected Johnson to fall to the second round, but sure glad he did. Meanwhile, Arizona's outside cornerback ranked 26th last year. If he's fully healthy, Johnson has a chance to make a serious impact as a rookie. Here's what I think about this. I think this is a lot of guessing. I think this is this is their stats from last year, and we're not going to take into account injuries. We're not going to take into account young players that play that can get better, like we talk about Max Melton or Darius Robinson or Marv or whomever. Like, I love Michael Wilson. He's a friend of the show since day one. Michael Wilson is not the X factor for this offense, okay? Marvin Harrison Jr. has to be the X factor for this offense in terms of the skill player. Now, Michael Wilson's great. It's a cherry on top. We expect him to be. It just, you see the ranking and then you see the write-up, and with all due respect, it comes across as very, as you put it, like kind of uneducated, guessing. To me, it's like these rankings right now, unless they're from like a Louis Riddick of the world, like I'm not really interested, because I don't know who wrote this article. It just comes off as Cardinals, we don't really understand your situation, so you're buried.
Yeah, we don't know Cardinals ball, right? We're very casual observers of the Cardinals. And like Mina Kimes told us that much. It's like she didn't know a whole lot of people that paid close attention to the Cardinals in the national media. And it shows. And it's showing in these lists where you see them, that they get high grades as far as their free agency. They get high grades as far as their draft. You look at how they finished last season. They were the highest point differential in the NFC West. They're a team that, analytically should have been 9-8, but everybody looks at them in the standings at 8-9 and where their, issues were. And there's more unknowns, and it's more like, hey, there's not this proven commodity. There's not this like data that proves us that this is going to be a big jump, where this is kind of those where you've got those guys going into their third season that are going to be big time impact makers that I don't think a lot of the group think are willing to go out on a limb and predict. They're mostly just going off of the data that they have. It's a bummer for Cardinals fans, because I don't think it kind of telegraphs the direction of the organization correctly. It's far off. Like, there's a blurb in there, as we've got it, where it says, like, at least it shows they were partially motivated in revamping the defensive front seven. Like, yeah, that's showing at least partially motivated the team to acquire a slew of defensive linemen for this offseason, including Eagle Josh Sweat. I mean, they threw everything, every asset that they possibly could at this, from top free agent dollars that they haven't spent under Monti Ossenfort, a 4-year, $76.4 million deal on Josh Sweat. They brought back vets. They brought in guys over 30 years, Dalvin Tomlinson and Calais Campbell, and they utilized the 16th overall pick on the same position group. So I'd say they're partially motivated. Yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it, or maybe putting it too lightly.
Are Bermuda fish big? Yeah, they're pretty big. I guess so, Dale. I guess the Cardinals. I guess the Cardinals have spent some money up front. For the people who are skeptical of Kyler Murray or Jonathan Gannon, the infrastructure, whatever, they won 8 games last year with the best point differential. Walk with me for a second, in the NFC West, right? They were 6-4 at the midpoint. Okay. They did not finish well, but they blew out bad teams. They beat some good teams, lost to some good teams, finished 8-9. They are unequivocally better on paper than last year. That can't be disputed. They didn't lose, save for an unsigned Kazir White, who does not have a job on June 2nd, a premium free agent. They have upgraded the worst defensive line, in my opinion, in the NFL. They have taken a wrecking ball to it. On top of all of that, they were one of the youngest teams in the NFL last season. So all those players are continuing the maturation process. And then this year, they have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. They play the NFC and AFC South. How in the hell are they going to be worse than last year? Like, it's not going to be they're better. How much better? The question is, how much better are the Cardinals going to be? Are they 10 wins? Are they 12 wins? Are they 14 wins? Like, but the poor response is they're actually worse, or they're about the same. There's no reality in which that happens, save for injury. That's not happening. They play dog meat divisions, and their roster is infinitely better, and they have players that are going to have a second and third year jump. It's just watch the NFL for 50 years. This is how it works.
The silver lining, I think, of this crappy list, obviously you take the data and the rankings with a grain of salt, but the Arizona Cardinals, you talk about the schedule, they play 9 teams in the second half of this rankings list. So like 32 teams from 16 down to 32. The Arizona Cardinals play 9 games of their 17 against teams in that tier. And only a few of those teams are ahead of them. And I think you could argue that the Cardinals have better rosters than the Falcons and then the Bengals. And then, they play the Cowboys that are just on the other side of that at 15, the Niners, who are fraudulently at 14, that did have a really rock solid roster. Not any longer. Nobody paid attention to the mass exodus and the key injuries. I'd say, like, the first like legit team that they play is they play the Packers, who are 13th, and I think they might be underrated on this list. I think they should be higher. The Bucks, the Texans, and the Rams. Like the Rams, the Texans, and the Bucks and the Packers. Those are like,
they're middle of
the toughies.
Yeah, and we've seen Nick Rawls's defense matches up really well with Sean McVay, unlike Vance Joseph, and even like the Arians regime. Like Nick Rawls and Jonathan Gannon can slow down the Rams. Can Kyler Murray and the offense put up enough points? We saw that last year. I'm with you.
The 4 bottom teams. They don't play the Browns, who's the worst team on this list, but they play the Panthers, who are 29th, the Saints, who are 30th, and the Titans, who are 31st. And they play 2 of those teams that like 29 and 30th to start the season.
They also get the Colts, who are an atrocious team, and I don't know how the hell they're 20th. And they're playing Danny Dimes. They're playing the Jaguars, who are terrible, 25th with Duval, high school coach. They're playing a bunch of these teams that are not just bad; they're trending down. Like a lot of these teams, like the Colts and the Saints, like are trending toward like, hey, are they going to have a top 5 pick next year? Are they had a top 3 pick next year? Those are the teams the Cardinals are playing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold on you, PFF. Here's what I am sold on. The Cardinals and their indoor games next year. We're going to tell you how many they have, and it may or may not lead the NFL. That's coming up, plus your super chats. So fired up to be back here on a PHNX Cardinals Monday. Excited to be talking about our friends at All Pro Shades Concepts as well. We got a break from the heat. Perfect time. Let's pivot and extend your outdoor living space with a custom fit awning. Hundreds of designs and colors to choose from. Motorize and retract with a remote control. All LED lighting, by the way, to light up your patio and awning. They work with HOAs for your approval. They can look at your current setup. They can say, well, maybe we can make some tweaks to it. Or it's a gut job, and they can take care of that too. Most trusted local shade company, voted #1 rating by Arizona for patio shades in 2024. Triple B A+ rating with over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. They've been in business for 20 years in the Valley, started making window shades by hand for friends and family in Phoenix. Now they're one of the largest installers of patio roll-down shades and motorized awnings in the Valley. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadesconcepts.com now to schedule your free estimate, Bo.
Check out our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union, man. They've always got deals going on, helping out more than 1 million members right now. 100 branches throughout the West. We love what's going on with Mountain America Credit Union. Everyone needs a checking account. It's simple. You're not just going to bury your money in the ground in your backyard. It's not a reliable place to do your banking. No, do it with our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union. Get an account with built-in benefits. Mountain America's My Style checking account has perks just for you. You can enjoy restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, and offers on travel and events. So much more. Just make My Style your lifestyle with Mountain America Credit Union. They got the double rewards going on through July 31st. 2-time points on rewards credit card purchases. You can learn more. Check them out at macu.com/mystyle. That's how you're going to get into that MyStyle checking account. That's going to be great. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration activation. Terms and conditions and exclusions apply.
Drop a like on this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Do us a favor. Get us to 500 likes for Noah's first official show as the new producer of PHNX Cardinals. There he is. There's the guy himself. How about this right here?
If we don't get to 500, he said, I don't show up for shows that don't get 500 likes. So I heard he might just quit.
I don't show up for losers. You don't want Bo and I producing this show. We'll have graphics made in Microsoft Paint. It'll be ugly. I'll tell you what's not ugly. I love this right here. In the chat earlier, people were talking about, whoa, is PHNX Cardinals on like Roku TV? Or is PHNX Sports have its own channel? You bet your sweet ass we do. And if you're watching on any of our streaming partners, jump on over because we're going into OT. Pew, pew, pew. PHNX Cardinals on a Monday going into overtime. This is where you're going to get a chance to see just how high the Cardinals can fly, playing indoor games in 2025. Have you seen this stat? Have you heard of it? Have you seen this? Arizona Cardinals play the most indoor games in the NFL with 13. 13 of their 17 games in 2025 are going to take place inside State Farm Stadium or otherwise, pushing back against the likes of the Bengals, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Ravens, who just get one apiece. So here's another feather in your cap. If you think the Cardinals are going to be good, they're playing inside, temperature controlled, fast tracks, Marv, Kyler, touchdowns. Bo, what do you make of it?
I mean, as somebody who covers this team, I like that I'm going to be indoors. I'm not going to have to deal with many of the elements. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals is probably the only game I think on their schedule. It's week 17.
Yeah.
That could be a little frigid, right? That you might have to deal with some elements there in the Natty. But outside of that, I mean, it is a very favorable schedule as far as you're not going to have to deal with much of anything. You only have 4 games. And let's start to maybe figure those out here. One is going to be on the road against San Francisco. That's going to be in week 3. And then one's going to be on the road in Seattle. That's going to be in week 10. That's November 9th. Not ideal always to get there.
Not terrible.
Yeah, you've got, let's see, the other outdoor at Tampa in November. That's pretty favorable. And then the last one that could be, what am I missing here? There's
Cincinnati.
one more. Yeah, Cincinnati. I don't think I counted Cincinnati there.
Yeah,
so
Cincinnati late in the season.
Yeah, not bad. So Tampa, Cincinnati, San Francisco, and Seattle.
I'm going to say something here for opposing team in the division. I know they play their games outdoors at their home stadium. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're Sam Darnold and you have been a turnover machine in your NFL career, only saved by one season with Kevin O'Connell and that receiving core, and you play 14 of 17 games outside, including wet Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks are in for a world of hurt. If they get the Sam Darnold that we saw at State Farm Stadium in that wild card game where he was seeing ghosts like his days with the New York Jets, I think the Seahawks, I'm not going to sit here and say Kyler Murray could do it, but I'm going to tell you right now, Sam Darnold sure as hell can't. No chance. Played at USC. Look how Sam Darnold did with the Jets and the Panthers outside.
3 games indoor for Sammy Darnold, who, according to Brady Henderson, who covers the team, Johnny, knows from Seahawks' 4th OTA today, first of which was open to the reporters. An up and down day for Sam Darnold, who was intercepted twice in a short span during 7-on-7 period in the red zone. Julian Love got him first. Josh, Job picked him off on a scramble throw.
What did Drew Lock though? What did he do?
What did Jalen Milroe do?
I think, I pulled up that same tweet here. It says Jalen Milroe overthrow for a pass breakup. So Seahawks, we'll check back in on them. I can't talk any smack though. Cardinals got swept.
I disagree with, like we talked about the rankings. I disagree with the roster rankings for the Seahawks. I think you made a good point. Like the quarterback position, it's in flux, no doubt about it. But they've done a decent job in building that thing. That's why they've been consistently competitive. Like, are they going to be able to get the quarterback play necessary? You certainly hope not. But
PFF does not like Sam Darnold. I think that's probably a big reason why.
13 games though, man, that does bode well for Kyler Murray. They just have 4 games outside. I mean, the kicking game is never, an issue. Like when you don't have to deal with the elements, you don't have to deal with really anything. So usually just turf and just let it rip.
That Seahawk game on the November 9th could be totally fine. Could be 55 degrees. That day. I mean, it's the Bengal game late in the season, but
I think that this schedule might be one of the most favorable schedules, and I know nobody's like keeping track of this, but that the Cardinals have had since being in Arizona.
It's up there
for success.
I mean, it's on par with the schedules that they had in the Wizenhunt days when the NFC West was so bad, and you knew you could get 5 or 6 victories a year in your own division. Like it's flipped now, where the division's good, but now the conferences, the divisions you play are not good. Like Nothing will trump what the Niners have on their schedule this year, and that's why it's so important that the NFC West needs to own San Francisco. Like, we're all Seahawks and Rams fans when they play the 49ers, because you've said it many times, Bo. It's like the Niners could somehow fraud it, Denver Broncos style to 9 or 10 wins and go like 2-4 in the division. So, but I'm with you. I think the Cardinals, there's legitimately no excuses this year. This is the avenue for this quarterback and this team to get to double-digit wins, and then everybody's taken care of. It's so funny, and we get on our soapbox here on a Football Monday in the offseason. Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon are solidified if they make the playoffs this year. It's over. Kyler Murray probably gets a raise. Gannon and Ossenfort are extended. There is so much riding on this season. The pressure is immense. It feels like right now it's like they understand there is no dicking around in 2025. You got to get it.
Look, pressure should be immense, but the kind of everything involved here is favorable. Like your schedule plays right in your hands for a fast start. Should be conducive to the offense having success, and then what you did as far as having the roster in place here, it all sets up and bodes well for the Arizona Cardinals to find that success in order to kind of unlock all of that.
Well, there's just no excuses too. I mean, save for injury. There's no excuses. Let's get to your super chats here on a Football Monday. Big thanks to everybody welcoming our guy Noah. Let's continue to drop likes and comments and love in the chat. Hayden, $2 kicking us off. Thoughts on demoting Drew Petzing to run game coordinator? I think Hayden, for that to happen, I don't know. I think it would be tough. It's hard to demote a guy who's in his third year, just got a head coaching interview. They're huge fans, this, Bo, of Drew Terrell, the passing game coordinator. Could you have like co-offensive? I don't know. Somebody's got to call the plays at the end of the day.
Once you start like removing titles and demoting guys, I mean, it's just the end is inevitable. So there's a lot more confidence, I think, inside the walls of the facility in Drew Petzing to figure this out, especially from his head coach, Jonathan Gannon. So you got to take, I think, a certain leap of faith with him until hopefully the start of the regular season doesn't make you look smart for a suggestion like that. But thank you so much for the $2 super chat, Hayden. Looking for his team, just his offense to get to the next step. And that's what everybody wants to see. So Brian P., how good we have it now versus a couple of years ago, because we had too much depth and we were cutting people because we need roster spots. Hashtag blessed. Couldn't agree more.
I mean, this is the best roster on paper. I mean, the 2021 roster looked impressive on paper, but it was made of paper mache. Rodney Hudson, AJ Green, D-Hop, JJ Watt. It was a very vulnerable team. This is the best collection of young and veteran talent since the peak 2015 Bruce Arians days. Now, we'll see if they can get it done. I mean, that team had Carson Palmer could have been the MVP of the NFL that year. So, Mike, 199 missed the last couple shows. RIP Damon. RIP indeed. We're excited for Damon. I always say new venture. He's the host of our Wildcat show, doing a tremendous job. Kev.
He's doing a great job with Wildcats. I wish him the best with the D-backs. That's always that's a tough gig to work with Derek that much. From what I've heard, he's a tough guy. He's always upset and yelling.
He had a neck brace on too. Does anybody know what that was in reference to?
Well, I mean, Kevin, I think physically assaulted him allegedly. We'll throw that out, even though it was caught on camera. But you have to wonder, were the conditions pretty tough for Kevin to do that? In our sweet, Damon Dogs going into that situation. So
I feel like, without knowing anything, I would just immediately side with Kevin in any situation. If I saw Derek hurt and he was pointing the finger at Kevin, I just immediately side with the opposite person.
Yeah, even though the video would probably tell a different story, but it doesn't tell the whole story. And that's what I'm trying to tell you.
What happened when the cameras were turned off is what I want to know. So
I also, something that didn't tell the whole story there. I saw this on Twitter streets. About our packages to New Orleans and Dallas and stuff like that. We're working with Bird Gang Travel, who does it at the highest level. You're not going to find it anywhere else. I think the team's dabbling in it, But if you're looking for the best experience, the guys over at Bird Game Travel, they are doing it the best possible way. Dallas, New Orleans, check it out. It was Dallas. You got a 2-night package going on. You can purchase your tickets, birdgangtravel.com. You can set up a payment plan. It's unbelievable what's going on. Obviously, we're going to New Orleans as well to open up the season. We want you to join us. We got the QR code up there on the screen. So many different deals going on. The Cowboys playing, getting back to that. You get a lower level game ticket. You get the NFL Sunday night watch party.
Nice.
You got transportation to and from the game. You got the live podcast with the PHNX. You get a State 48 trip shirt. You get a trip patch. You get a Cardinals cowboy hat. You get a signed mini helmet from Calais Campbell. Like, it's endless. It's not just hey, I bought my package and includes get me to Dallas and I got a ticket to the game. Like, there's so much more. That's so much more like about this community than just get to the game. It's a road trip.
Yeah. And Bo and I are going to be there in New Orleans. And so it's like, this isn't like a trip where you don't see anybody, talk to anybody, you're by yourself. Like, Bird Gang Travel is the premier travel ticketing service of the Arizona Cardinals, not associated with the Cardinals, but takes care of it. Like, they do everything, literally everything. You should see Tyler and his team work, mapping out the best prices, the best package, the best deals, getting people the best experience, getting players. Like Jake Plummer is going to be in New Orleans with us. It's going to be fantastic. So if you have any kind of hesitancy, if you want to know more, contact Tyler, contact Bird Gang Travel, ask us, DM us. Happy to give you all the information we can. We're going to have Tyler on the show later this week to talk about it more. But now's the time. Let's get plans set with our friends at Bird Gang Travel. We had done some work with Bird Gang early in our inception of PHNX Sports, and then it came time this offseason. We're like, we need to get back with what we believe is the premier travel with this franchise. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And it's good. Like, there could be other ways you can find yourself to the game, but the best way is with Bird Gang Travel. birdgangtravel.com. Follow them on your socials as well. Can't wait for that, man. The start of the regular season. Can't wait for it. We've got OTAs tomorrow. Noah and I are going to be out there hanging out. We'll get some practice footage. We'll get some updates. We'll take some role attendance. Who's there, who's not. We didn't have any Calais. We didn't have any Dalvin Tomlinson. We didn't have Josh Sweat last week. We'll see if that updates tomorrow. And we'll see what Walter Nolan's practice status is. Wasn't with his position group last week. Was there on the sidelines doing some different work. But see what that looks like tomorrow.
Get us to 500 likes here on a Football Monday, the debut official show for our new producer, Noah. Welcome, my friend. We are so lucky to have you and all of you watching in your many ways at home, whether it's YouTube, streaming partners, and more. Big thanks to everybody. Great to be back here on a Football Monday with my co-host, Bo Brack. We're back on a Football Tuesday. For Bo and Noah, I'm Johnny. See you then.
We all silly like the mayor.